All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a chance to hear from some of the coaches today, namely the coordinators. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I want to give some special attention to Matt Eberflus. This is gonna be our first time really reacting to one of his pressers. And I think after that Giants game, all of us want to hear what bro has to say. Let's go ahead and take a look, and be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content just like this on the regular. Shut your up. All right, let's jump right into this thing, man. 1.25 times speed. Let's see how Matt Eberflus sounds with that going. And
how you doing? Good to see everybody.
I want to see if he's keeping it real.
So, in terms of going back to Chicago and playing with our fellas there and all the guys, we're keeping the process in our preparation the same as we always do. And I'm always grateful, and have much gratitude for my whole coaching career. So I always look back at everything, how you can learn, how you can grow, and get better and improve. And that's the biggest part of experience. And that's what we're doing there. And then in terms of last week, we got to play better team defense. We all got to be on the same page. We got to do a good job of alignment, assignment, key technique, and playing clean football. There was some definite spots in there in terms of how we executed last week where we did some really good things. In the run game, obviously the big interception at the end, making some adjustments. And really proud of the guys of how they gritted it out and hung together in there, in some spots that was kind of a back and forth day. So I know exciting win for the Cowboys.
That's all fine and dandy, but I need to hear some criticisms. All right, reporters, do your thing.
And, excited that we pulled it out at the end. Dono had that wonderful interception, and we made some nice stops there.
We're giving Dono compliments.
With that, I'll open up the questions.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What did you learn from your time in Chicago?
Yeah, when you become a head coach, it's a different job, right? So you learn a lot of things, so a lot of things that you didn't do.
I ain't gonna lie, I hate that you start the presser up with that damn question, man. Ask him some questions about what did you see go wrong with the Giants? That should have been the first question. What was the main thing that you felt like we need to work on as it pertains to how we performed against the New York Giants, man?
As an assistant, as a coordinator, again, I'll just say that.
And some of y'all, hold on, pause real quick, because some of y'all be, I love your take, I love your channel, but I can't stand when you're screaming to the shut your bitch ass up, man. Damn. Some of y'all stay crying, menstruating, all over the place. Shut up.
There is certainly, I cherish all those.
It's like there's always something going on up there, whether it's people questioning game management, assistant coaches leaving. There's always something going on. How did you kind of manage those things?
Yeah, again, that's part of being a head coach. That's what it is. You're always going to get questioned on certain decisions, and you got to put your best foot forward there.
Matt Todd with ESPN. As you look back, do you dread this week as you know this is coming with all these questions and stuff?
No, I look at it as one opportunity for us to be able to go out there and really execute. And it's game 3, and it's important that we need to improve. And everybody needs to improve. Throughout the league, everybody has issue here and there early in the season that they got to improve on, and that's what we're looking to do.
And then
you ain't gotta do that though. Don't do the whataboutism, Matt Eberflus. Don't do the whataboutism. We know that. That's a given. I'm gonna be hard on you, my brother, because that was unforgivable what we saw, and y'all have been some of the biggest endorsers, and you specifically has been one of the biggest endorsers of Dono. So I need to hear something from you, my guy.
Time off. What did you do? Did you get away from football? Did you go somewhere? How did you cleanse your mind?
In the time off, obviously, with my girls being home there, I told the ladies it's the first time your dad had December off in 34 years of coaching. I said, so 2 things are going to happen. I said, we're going to get close.
Here's my question, man. This is why I hate some of the questions these reporters be asking. As fans, what are we going to do with that information? Oh, Matt Eberflus did X, Y, and Z during his time off from football. Like, what are we going to do with the information? How does it help us for the game coming up this week against the Bears? Like, it's Thursday. Y'all don't get too many more interviews with any of these people. So what is that? I don't know, man. Just some of the timing of these questions, bro. They just be some half-baked ass.
Together, and we're getting closer to the Lord. And to me, we accomplished those two things, and it was a good time with the family. So,
was there a time where you just wanted to not get back into it right away? Like Dan Quinn and McCarthy both talked about taking that year off really kind of benefited them. Did you?
Yeah, I think you reflect and see what you want to do, and it didn't take long for me to figure out I want to get back in. And,
bro, why did they bring up Dan Quinn 2 defensive coordinators ago? Did they say Dan Quinn, or did I just not hear him say Dan Quinn and Mike? What is up with our media? Why are they so obsessed with comparison, bro? Why are they so obsessed with trying to get the current regime to compare themselves to a previous regime, man. Golly. Y'all can ask questions without bringing up other people.
Important thing, and I love coaching the players. I love working with the players, and that's something that I've always loved to do. And
I'm sorry, y'all. I know I've been on media ass, but they getting on my nerves, man. Like, I'm really starting to see. I mean, not starting to see. I've already been seeing, but I'm about to start really honing in on cleaning up our own immediate community, the local media, first and foremost. Because, golly, bro, y'all are just insufferable. And I'm about to start critiquing y'all just like y'all critique the people y'all interview.
John Machado with The Athletic. What did you think of your time with Caleb Williams? And then what have you seen from him on the 2 games this year?
Yeah, like
Thank
I said,
you, John Machado.
I really cherish the whole time that I was there and my whole coaching experience. And then, for Caleb, really it's just working through the process of his second year. Working through the timing and the rhythm of that offense, and you can see that, going forward, game 1, game 2, game 3, and that's where it is.
And then when we talked to Brian, he talked about on some of those explosive plays how they're not major things that needed to be cleaned up, that there's small things here or there. I guess for people when you watch it, you might think that it's a major problem because there were so many. Is it minor things, and how do you get it fixed?
Thank you.
I think when it's
man, see, for those of y'all that's like confused with why I'm going hard at the reporters, that's a real football question that fans can sink their teeth into, that we can get real information from if he answers it. You know what I'm saying? That's a real football question. Quit asking these dumbass ESPN fluff piece type questions like you sitting down in a one-on-one interview with the dude or something, man. A lot of these questions these dudes are asking is like questions you would ask somebody just in passing or something. Like not in this setting. When you're trying to get real information from this dude about what we saw as fans. We're 4 minutes into the interview, and John Machado just gave us the first real questions about what was going on with the defense.
When you give up big plays, I don't think they're minor. Those are major things,
Ooh,
and we have to do a better job of all 11 players, including the coaches, executing on a certain play, this play, that play, whatever it might be. But you have to execute, and again, that's coaches and players.
Give us something. Give us something, though. Don't just tell us we got to execute, man. Give us something. That's what I was trying to listen for. Brian Schottenheimer, he gets very, very in-depth on the football stuff that went wrong or what can be better, this, that, and that. Man, give us something as fans to let us know that they noticed something that we noticed, or they noticed something that's actionable. Give us something.
The reflection period. How did you reflect? Did you pray? Did you meditate? Did you do anything like that? And what was the moment that really kind of sold you and said, hey, I do want to get back into this right away?
Yeah, I mean, prayer and meditation is big in everybody's life, so I think that's important, of course. But I do think that you do have time to reflect on, what you could do better, what you learned from the experience. And I've done that everywhere I went. If I was a defensive coordinator, at the Colts or the head coach of the Bears, you reflect on those things, how you can improve. You learn and you grow and you get better from the experience.
How many reflection questions y'all gonna ask? This is the second reflection question, bro. The second one.
A moment where you said, hey, I do want to go back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't long. It was about a couple weeks. It's a couple weeks. I took a couple weeks, and it was like, yeah, I want to get back in.
Nick Harris, Forward Start Telegram. Brian's talked a lot about the communication piece in the secondary. What have y'all been able to work on this week, whether it be through walkthrough or during practices, that really help kind of emphasize that communication?
Yeah, just, when you're at home, it's loud. It was our first time, playing together in there. So I think it's important that we do a great job with subtle hand signals and a good way to communicate, so everybody's on the same page.
Jalen Johnson's not playing, but what can you appreciate about the Chicago secondary and the pieces that they still have there?
Yeah, the guys in the secondary, Kyler Gordon is a definite a playmaker, and he does a really good job, and they got some good pieces back there. And always love working with the players there, and they bought into the system, and they played some good ball.
Tommy Arsh, Cowboys.com. When it comes to fixing communication on the back end of defense, is it as easy as it sounds, or what goes into that process? Is it over communication?
Thank you.
Is it meeting room things?
Thank
is it
you.
walkthrough?
Get him to answer the question.
Yeah, I mean, you answered it right. It's it's everything, because I think when you look at players over the years, everybody learns a different way. Some guys learn. You show them the diagrams.
I'm losing trust in Eberflus, y'all. He acting like the adjustments that need to be made are some government top secret that he can't go into depth about. Now, either you don't want to tell us or you don't know. That's what this makes me feel like. That's the difference between how Brian Schottenheimer talks to us versus how other coaches have talked to us. Because when Shotty speaks, it gives the fans a true sense that Shotty understands exactly what he wants to do, exactly what the next move is, exactly how to tweak, how to fix, how to adjust something. These type of vague-ass general, it's everything type answers, man, this makes me feel like you don't know what the hell went wrong or what's going on, or you don't want to face what's wrong. And what's wrong is probably the safety, bro. Probably the safety play that y'all fell in love with during the offseason. This is going to be one part. I'm probably going to be pretty hard on the Cowboys this season as it pertains to this defense. If Eberflus specifically keeps talking like this, because come on, bro.
So I got it, right? And then some guys have to do it on the field. So, but the biggest thing for us is the walkthroughs and the practice, because that's functional intelligence, functional execution. And I think that's the most important thing. That's the feedback for the coaches to really see that, hey, these guys can execute this call. These guys are good with this, and they feel comfortable and confident in it.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Matt, Trayvon Diggs' snap count basically doubled from week 1 to week 2, and Brian said on Monday essentially has no restrictions. What have you seen from his play through 2 games this year?
Yeah, so he's just getting back into it, and the thing about Trayvon is he hasn't, didn't go through training camp, so this is basically his period where he's learning the defense. And again, it comes down to the functional ability to be able to execute on the field, and it's time on task. So we're working with him extra in the mornings to get him up to speed, getting as many reps as we can during practice, and then coaching him up in between when the offense is up there. But it's all the above.
Real quick, Kyer Elam, so there's a stat.
Say all of the above one more time. Say all of the above one more time, Eberflus.
Like pass yards attributed to someone who's given up in coverage, and Kyer Elam has given up the most according to NFL Pro. What do you think of that stat, and is that valid for that attribution?
Yeah, I don't look at that. Kyer's played well. He's tackled well. He's done a good job. He's gonna.
All right, I'll see what type of coach Matt Eberflus is. He's not the type of guy that's gonna hold people accountable in the media. Now, hopefully, he's doing it behind closed doors. He's not gonna do it in the media, even if it's in a respectable way, the way Shoddy has done so far. I see what type of coach Eberflus is already, bro. Because Elam has been average. He hasn't been good. He's been average.
Continue to improve. I like where Kyer's at.
Hey, Flus. Patrick Walker, Cowboys.com. This is our first time speaking to you since Jadeveon Clowney officially signed on to the team. So, 2-part question. The first part is, and I see your smile creeping up thinking about Clowney. Just talk about, through your eyes, why Jadeveon Clowney and why right now?
Yeah, anytime you can add pass rushers, I'm all in. So if you say those 2 words, pass rusher, I say yes. So to me, it's about adding another piece. We're going to need everybody on our roster during the course of the year. We're going to have some injuries here and there that are going to creep up, and we got to have guys step in. That is a fine in a team meeting. So just adding him is really good. And then he's been a joy to work with the last few days, and he's buying into Shoddy's culture, and it's going to be exciting.
Second part of that is Jadeveon said one of the key drivers of his interest was when you guys acquired Kenny Clark, and he had nothing but praise for just that rotation with Osa, Solly, and Kenny Clark. What does it mean to you to have a veteran coming in with his ability and his mentorship, but still be so excited that he sees that acquisition and then gets on the phone with his agent and says, figure out how to get me to Dallas?
Yeah, he is excited. He really is. He's excited about getting going, on the field, and obviously having Kenny Clark in there and Solly and Osa and all those experienced guys at the D-line really helps us. And those guys are going to learn and grow like the rest of our unit as we go forward, but adding him has been great.
Ed Werder, WFA.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Shoddy said that you have unique knowledge about
Ed the Snake Warder. One of the many issues that's been wrong with the Dallas Cowboys and how they've been betrayed in the media. I'm going to get to him eventually at some point this season, bro. Ed, I see how you move. I see how you work. You're one of those reporters that you like to report the facts, but mix in how you feel in your opinions with how you report the facts. Meaning you try to control narratives. I don't like it.
this week's opponent because of your recent experience there. He had you come in and address the offensive coaches. What of value do you think you were able to share as far as Chicago's personnel and their strengths and weaknesses?
I think it's important to do with every opponent, and because we have several coaches there that were there last year, and he's talking to everybody about it. Strengths, weaknesses, where we can gain an advantage, and just gathering information, about different things. So that to me is always important. We do that every single week. If a guy was with a player, we ask strengths, weaknesses, and have him talk to the offense or defense. That's important.
Hey Matt, Jeff Gold with Fox Sports Dallas. Going back to last Thanksgiving, the way things ended in Chicago, you talked about your 34 years in coaching and how different that was to have that time off. Was that the hardest moment of your career?
Yeah, there's always been there's always hard moments, in coaching. You always are disappointed when you lose, and because you put so much into it. The players put so much into it, and you're most disappointed for the players. And and then once that settles in and you work to the next day, the sun comes up and you move forward. You learn, you grow, and you keep going. And that's what true grit is, right? And that's what we're all about.
You talked about learning from that. What did you learn?
Yeah, a lot of things. I could list a lot of things that I learned. But the biggest thing is that you got to be able to communicate well and do a good job there with everybody that's working.
Have you reimagined yourself at all? Like Quinn talked about, like he went and looked at his scheme and things that he had to change because he felt Seattle and Atlanta, he kind of, hey, this is already known.
Bro, why do our media keep doing this? Why have you brought up Dan Quinn? That is Dan Quinn is literally 2 seasons ago, bro. Why are y'all asking Matt Eberflus questions with the pretense of asking about Dan Quinn first? Yo, our media sucks, bro.
For this, you came back a little bit different. Have you done that as well?
Yeah, I do that every year. You have to. You come up with different aspects of your scheme that you need to improve.
Everything about this interview done pissed me off, from Eberflus's answers to the media's questions, and
But
John Machot is the only person that asked decent question, him and Tommy Yarish.
Also comes down to the players you have available to you. I think that's important, that you got to really move your scheme to the players that you have that particular week. So we got to do that and do that better. And so that's what we're always doing. But I always do that every single year. You take a hard evaluation, you do your self-scout, and then you look to move forward to what concepts you're going to put in and how you're going to be better next year.
What do you think the reaction is going to be Sunday?
I haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
What is it supposed to be? Why are y'all acting like that he was some long-term head coach that won a Super Bowl there and had some history? It was just a stop on. Why are they trying to make this Bears game like it's some crazy rivalry revenge game for Eberflus, where he has all this storied history with this team? He was there for like 2 or 3 seasons, bro.
Play zone about, I guess, we 95% of the time. Any thought of maybe we should play man a little bit more?
Yeah, again, it's about player availability, and it's really about what we, about the opponent. What you think is going to work against the opponent, and certainly we have those concepts in, and we're going to use concepts that we like, that fit the players, and what we can execute well.
And a guy like Clowney, obviously, someone else might reduce snaps. How do you kind of manage some of those types of things?
It's a rotational deal, right? You guys can see how we're rotating the D-line. Some guys got 40 plays, 42 plays. Some guys got 20 plays. Some guys got 16. So it's a management thing. And we'll see where his conditioning level is and see where he goes.
Yeah. Experience taught you lessons from your time in Chicago, but it also gives you lessons you can share. I'm assuming Brian Shaw never being a first-time head coach. What was your biggest lesson coming from your experience as a first-time head coach for Brian?
I would just say that, when you look back at everything in your life, that you should have gratitude, right? And you should be grateful for the experience because if it's a great experience, a lot of times people don't learn much from that. You learn some things, but when you have adversity, I think that's when you learn. So, and I do that in every aspect of my life.
Finish up with Nick. James Houston has the highest pressure rate on this team. And
yes, he does. It's a hell of a week last week, right? It's 16 plays and a sack and a couple pressures.
Yeah, I'm just curious of your overall evaluation on James Houston and adding a defensive end.
Yeah, I love his energy. I love where he is in terms of the mental aspect of the game, and he's a worker. And I'm excited about where he's going to go in the future.
Wilson in previous years, we haven't necessarily seen him as a one-high type guy. On that 4th and 4 play, he was that one high that was toward the field safety. What do you appreciate him as a one-high type guy, and what was kind of the communication with him and being able to?
Yeah, Donovan's been great for us, and Donovan can play. He can play down. He can play back. You just got to, really do a good job with, the whole space and then understanding space, and he's doing a good job with that. And
no, he's not, Eberflus. This interview just pissed me off. This was nothing but fluff. Yeah. I love everything about Shotty. Yo ass is definitely about to have the microscope on you, man. Man, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this interview down in the comments below. What you think about what Matt Eberflus had to say? I'm gonna be honest. I hated this interview. I hated his answers. I hated the fact that he went out of his way to protect his players when it's like, man, those are professionals. Those are grown-ass men. And if somebody asks you a legit question, man, give us a real answer that we can't obviously read through and say, there's no way he believes that. And if he does, we're screwed. Because if you believe that Dono's doing a good job playing that position and playing one high and being able to play back, then we're screwed. Because he don't play well playing back, man. All right, man. Them Cowboys. Man, y'all subscribe for me. This dude about to piss me.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Woo,